And welcome to ACS Golf and today's video where I'm looking at what's in my bag for the forthcoming 2024 season. Now in the UK we're just about to hit spring, the days are getting longer, weather hasn't quite caught up yet but hopefully will do soon, and I do have my first Putting Kings tournament this weekend. So I thought it'd be a perfect time to show you what's in the bag, what might change going throughout the season, but hopefully the majority of this will be staying the same. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I do tend to change things every now and again, which is quite annoying, but hopefully I will keep it all the same. I just try all these clubs and oh, that's great, I'm going to stick that in the bag. But anyway, let's start off with the top of the bag, and it's a brand new club for this year, and it is the Cobra Dark Speed, specifically the X. Look at that thing of absolute beauty. Now originally I had the Stealth 2 in the bag, but every now and again I had a bit of a wayward shot and just wanted a little bit more consistency and something that I could shape personally for me a little bit easier. I really got drawn to the Dark Speed, managed to pick up a really good deal of it actually. You know, two reasons for it. Number one, I've loved Cobra over the years. I really have. You know, I played the LTDX, I really enjoyed that club, and I sort of regret taking out the bag a bit. So I thought, all right, let's get my hands on one of these, which I have. And one reason as well is I want to this year increase my ball speed, get that ball going further. And so by obviously increasing my club head speed as well. And with this, I have the options of swapping these weights around. So at the moment, I've got the 12 at the back, got to set it 12 degrees actually, because you know me, my attack angle is useless. But the idea is to put that 12 in the front to get a bit more low spin when I really start to improve on that swing speed. So it just gives me the option that during the year I won't have to change the club for a lower spinning head. So really happy with it. So far it's been in the bag, hit lots of fairways with it. Distance wise it's been pretty good as well. Do I think it's an improvement on the Stealth 2? Possibly not. However, you know, just really enjoying it in the bag and loving the aesthetics and the feel of it and also the sound of it. I will be, however, doing a head-to-head between this, the Stealth 2, and the Ping G400 Max actually over the next couple of weeks, just to make sure that I am happy with this staying in the bag. However, at the moment, all the signs are extremely positive, and I think it is a great driver, as Cobra has done so since the F9. If you're looking for the interchangeable weights, there we go, finally got it out. For the Cobra, as you see here, they don't do it in the previous version, so don't do it in the Aerojet, don't do it in the LTDX. You can go back to the F9 if you want the same sort of thing, which to be honest, you could probably save yourself a bit of money and do that. But anyway, overall, really happy with it. Great looking driver, and very much so looking forward to using it in the season coming forward. There you go. Okay. Next club in the bag, which will change, I think, as the summer goes on. Well, we get into spring, get into summer, and that is my 5-wood. So it is the Stealth 2. So last year's model in a regular shaft. So normally I have a Ventus shaft, normally stiff. I'm stiff everywhere through the bag. I will just mention also in the Cobra I have a UST 6F4. There it is, even though it's upside down. I do love these shafts, the UST shafts they do. Really do help with launch and a good spin for me. Getting back to the 5-wood. So I just thought I'd go back there just to show you what the shaft's in there. Going back to the 5-wood, the reason I got regular is really helped me get the ball in the air, which I am doing with it. You know, it's a great club, obviously great distance with it, good forgiveness as you would expect from TaylorMade wood. The only problem is being a 5-wood in the winter is perfect because it gets me that maximum carry. But in the summer where, you know, the fairways get a little bit firmer, you can get that little bit more rollout, I will probably look to put a 3-wood back in the bag and take this out. Probably most likely putting back in my Mizuno ST200 TS fairway wood, which I really do get on with. So there you go. But at the moment, loving it, really good, and it's here to stay. Okay, now moving on to the next club in my bag, which is a 3 hybrid. And this again is actually this current model, even though it did come out last year, and is a Ping G430 hybrid. Love this thing. It's forgiving, it's long, which is quite rare really when you think about Ping. You know, normally you think maximum forgiveness, not necessarily length, but with this, it is great. It is a really long club. Great forgiveness in it. It's got a hazardous 6.0 mid-spin shaft, which I really get on with as well. Fantastic. You know, if I need something to get over that 200-yard mark, you know, something I'm really confident with, then I use this and I love it. Really do enjoy it. Can't see it coming out of the bag anytime soon because it is an absolute beast. Only issue is if I push this hard, I can get the same distance I can roughly, well, a little bit shorter, around the same as a 5 would. Not the carry, which obviously in winter you need the best carry you can, especially over here in the UK, because it just gets stuck in mud, doesn't go anywhere. But in the summer, that potentially could cause an issue, which is why I most likely will take that out for a 3 wood when the weather is getting better. And you can worry about sort of more total distance rather than just carry distance. But overall, beautiful, great forgiving club. Really happy with the shaft as well. And yeah, and great. So now on to my 4 iron. So the 4 iron for me has actually probably been the club that's been in the bag the longest. I cannot see it come out anytime soon. It is my dependable 200-yard club off the tee. If I need to make a fairway that's tight, this is the club I go for. Beautiful height on it, great carry and great overall distance. And it's my Ping G410 crossover. So obviously this is a couple of years old now. You know, there's been a 425 crossover, there's been a new crossover from Ping. So there's a few models up from it. But obviously for me, technology, it doesn't really move on that much. And this is fantastic. It's forgiving for a driving iron. Don't get me wrong, hybrid is always going to be more forgiving, but this is definitely more forgiving than sort of your normal longer iron. I love the ball flight with this, their Alta shaft in here, which again is stiff. Really does pop it in the air, so I get really good carry with it. And if I need any time where I'm on a tee or the driver's maybe not working or anything like that, and I just want to get it 200 yards up the fairway, this is the club I use. I absolutely love it. Had some issues with it where over the years maybe I did struggle to maybe get it off the fairway, but it's definitely part of my game that I've really worked on, and now I'm comfortable using this on the fairway as well. So overall, very happy with it, and I can't imagine this coming out anytime soon. You know, I have tried for the channel a few more sort of utility irons, but nothing for me matches this, and it doesn't match the ball flight that I get from it, and just that forgiveness and that feel. I mean, I tried the Strixon ZX Mark II last year, and the feel of that was a lot better than this, but it just didn't have the ball flight, maybe not the forgiveness I had. You know, this is a big sort of club here. You know, it inspires confidence. You know, they are great utility clubs. You know, if you're looking for that sort of bit more forgiveness from your longer irons, you know, but you don't want to go down the hybrid route, do have a look at Ping crossovers. You know, it can be like I've done, you know, the G410, it can be the brand new one, it can be the older one. You know, if you want to save yourself some money, they're great clubs. I know quite a few people I play with actually who have some of these in the bag. I know a good friend of mine actually uses the 3 iron of the G400 and he loves it. So really good clubs and definitely worth a look if you're looking at a utility in the market. Okay, now on to my irons. So my irons have previously been playing the MP20 MMC, MP20 HMB, sorry. Love them, you know, the hollow cavity back sort of irons, you know, hollow construction, really great, really enjoyed the feel. But I picked up the other day Nike Vapor Pro, Nike Vapor Fly Pro, I always get the name wrong, irons. Because, you know, Brooke Koepka uses them, Finau uses them, and I thought, you know, I'll pick up a set, try the longer iron, which I did the 3 iron, and then see about the rest of the irons and see if I want to keep them. And for me, I've kept them in the bag. There's a 7 iron, a little bit bad there, to be honest. But I've kept them in the bag. You know, they're progressive sets, so they change the technology through the 9 all the way up to the 5. I have pitching wedge to 5. I really enjoy the level of sort of playability from them. I really enjoy the looks. I think they, you know, they're great talking point. Don't get me wrong, they are a little bit battered. These clubs are from 2016. Got stiff shafts in there, you know, true temper, you know, S300 stiff shafts. So again, perfect shafts for me. Love the ball flight on them, nice and high, good, really good stopping power, which is why I sort of play these sort of I say this is a distance player's iron, I would say, and that's why I tend to go for these because I'm not necessarily the longest out there, so they give me good distance, but also really good control. Love the feel of them, and just basically really enjoying them in the bag. To be fair, even though they're from 2016, you know, I will say, obviously, you can tell that the black's come off, and there it goes, which a lot happens with black clubs, you know, with that black finish. But the grooves are absolutely spotless. You know, they are overall in really good condition, and I'm really enjoying playing with them. And I've had some of the best scores I've had ever with them in the bag. So for me, they're staying in there. Maybe not too sure with the 5-iron. I feel like the forgiveness level for what you'd expect does dip a little bit when you go a bit higher, but overall, really happy with these clubs, you know, and it just shows you don't need to be buying brand new to play some of your best golf, because these are in the bag. I love them, and I can't imagine them coming out at all this year. To be fair, you know, I still got the MP20 HMBs, which I think are fantastic irons. I really do. And, you know, they're very similar to this. But for me, just that little bit of wow factor with the Nikes is why I've got them in the bag, you know, and I really do enjoy them. I really do. They're great. Okay, now moving on to my wedges, which is a bit of a higgledy-piggledy set. So the gap wedge which I have, so for me, I have a 50, a 56 and a 60. I quite like that gapping, so that's the way I've kept it. The Nike wedge, I think it's 45, the pitching wedge, so it's quite nice to have that sort of 50, you know, 50 degrees there. If it's 52, the gap would be a little bit too big for me. And so my 50 is this. It's the Vega Alcor wedge, which I've just reviewed for you guys, so do check the channel out for that. Love it. Can only imagine, you know, for me with wedges, the only reason they sort of come out the bag is mainly because they're just battered. When it comes down to it, you know, you need to make sure your grooves are still sharp, still in good condition. It doesn't really matter how old the wedge is or how new the wedge is. If they've got good grooves, then for me, it's not really going to affect my game, you know, because I'm still going to get the spin that I want from an older wedge, as long as the grooves are fine. Because in the end of the day, that's the main important thing. As I say, with a lot of these things, technology really hasn't changed that much over the years. So as long as the grooves are sharp, you know, happy days, and I'll be happy to put them in my bag. So with the Vega Alcor, love it. I love the softness of it. You know, I personally, chipping around the green, I tend to use my 50 over my 60 because I just don't want to go underneath it. And I'm still able to, with this, with the weight in it and the shaft in it as well, still managed to pop it up quite nicely. So overall, really happy with it. So yeah, I can't imagine it's going to come out anytime soon. And obviously, it is getting a little bit, I don't know if you see it down the light, but it is getting a few little chips on there and everything like that. So in the future, it might have to come out and get replaced. But I definitely think if it does, it will be another forged wedge going in there, because I love the feel of a forged wedge. I definitely feel like it helps me personally around the greens. Now, moving on to my 56 and 60. So these are both tailor-made, but they are different. Well, they're different versions of, you know, one's a newer version, one's an older version. So originally, if you see me last year, I had the MG2, still got the 60 degree, quite battered now. So we'll probably look to replace that coming soon, just to get, you know, get the grooves back in gear. And then in 656, it's the brand new MG4 Tiger Wood spec. Beautiful wedge, looks good. No, I think they both look beautiful. Always loved the full face there, which goes rusty over time. Just managed to get a really good deal in it, to be fair. That's why it's in the bag and replaced the 56, which was a little bit battered because it's been in the bag itself for a while. I love the mill grind from TaylorMade. You know, MG2's been great. MG3, MG4's been great as well. For me, I like the weight of them. I like the looks of them. You know, like I've said, I love that sort of face which starts to rust. So I can't imagine this year I'll go away from them. And I can imagine they'll be staying in the bag. The only thing is the 60 degree will be changing at some point, just for one with newer grips, really. Wedge flex in the shaft, which is fine. You know, does exactly what you needed to do. So happy there. I will say though, I might not go for the MG version, so maybe an MG3 or an MG4 for the 60 when I replace it. I might actually go for the TaylorMade high toe, just because I have a full grooves all the way across the face. And for me, with the 60, I use the 60 to get out of bunkers. I open up that club face. Also, you know, if I'm in really deep rough or something like that, I want to try a flop shot. Rarely happens, but does every now and again. Again, I like to open that club face. So just having the full grooves across the face does appeal to me. Obviously, I don't plan to hit that, but again, it does appeal to me. So I might change this for a high toe when I do change it in the coming weeks, probably, I'd say, rather than months, because it is quite bad. It's chipped off the bottom, etc. But we'll wait and see for that. Now, on to the last club in the bag, and it's a putter. And this putter's been in there now, in the bag now for, I think, nearly a year, or might be coming up to a year, and it's this. It's the Even Roll, yep, Even Roll ER5. Love it, love that shape. So, a bit like the Odyssey there. Love the grooves, love the feel of it, love the weight of it as well. This is actually so this is a little bit more heavier than your normal 34-inch. This has actually been set up as a 33-inch, and then someone's extended it, which works perfectly for me because it's that heavier head, which I like. No, really good at judging the distance with it, really good control. Enjoy being able to line it up with that. And overall, just a fantastic putter. And if you're looking at these, potentially on the second-hand market, they're potential steal, especially over here in the UK. So for me, that's in the bag. Can't imagine it changing this year. I mean, I've looked at the new Scotties. I think it looked great this year, but am I going to go out and spend 350 quid or whatever it is? No. The Toulons, same shape again. Wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of them, or maybe even the TaylorMade Tour Prefers, just to give them a go. But I can't see anything kicking this out this year. Really enjoy it. Great fun with it, and I've done some really good putts with it as well. I think it's one thing as well, if you're trying to get that consistency, let's be honest, you use this club the most when you're playing in any round, so it's probably better to try and keep this one the same rather than changing this. So at the moment, have no plans to, and do not want to change that, because I'm having some really good putts with it. Okay, so there you go. Stiff, as I mentioned, with the shaft, stiff throughout. I will mention grip-wise, if anyone wants to know about that. I normally use mid-size throughout, apart from my driver, which I actually have an oversized one. Just happened to fall upon that on the Stealth 2, and I really found, because when I brought it, it came with it, really found it really helped my game. So there, bag is a Big Max. Love the brand. If you've never tried them, do. Fully waterproof. And finally, I'll just go into what ball I use. And the ball I use, if I can get it out of my pocket. No, not that one. Here you go. Wilson Staff model ball. So there you go. This is currently the last year's model. They've released a new one this year, which I'll probably get my hands on as well. The reason is because in the UK, you could normally pick these up, well, brand new for under £30, which for a premium golf ball, which this is from Wilson, is fantastic. Feels good, good distance, good spin rate on it as well, and it's got really good durability. So if you're looking for that premium ball, but you don't want to be spending your £50 for your TP5s, obviously your Pro V1s, then the Wilson Staff model ball is great. And the new one, I think, is retailing around £40, so again, a little bit cheaper as well from the Pro V1. So again, if you're looking for that premium ball and you don't mind spending £40, because you're not going to be losing that many, then that's definitely worth a look. So Wilson Staff, you're going to start using it again. Haven't been using it over winter, just because winter in the UK, the ball disappears under leaves, it gets plugged, it's quite difficult to find them. So I haven't been using them at the moment over the winter, but my plan is definitely for this weekend anyway, is to get them back in the bag, because I very much enjoy hitting these. I think they're great golf balls. Over the winter, I will add, I had been using the brand new Kirkland. So literally brand new Kirkland Performance Plus, which has just come out. Say about it, I think the distance is good. I think they've improved it from the previous model distance-wise. Field is very nice. Both three-piece balls here, so it really does feel very nice. Only difference is this scuffs up still so easily. Even though it's supposed to be urethane covered, just like this one, it does scuff up so easily. So if you're a good player and you're going to be keeping your ball, at least 18 holes, maybe more, this won't make it. I mean, there's been a few times I've been in the bunker, hit one shot out of the bunker and be like, that ball, it's got massive dent in it. No one not dent in it, but the cover's coming off and I'm going to have to change it. So great budget ball if you still want that premium performance, but be aware, because it's budget, you're going to be using more of them. So there you go. Okay, so there you go. That's what's in my bag for the forthcoming 2024 season. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will say, I have noticed when I was going through this that the majority of these clubs, I haven't actually got reviews on the channel yet for. They will be coming soon, so don't worry about that. If you're interested about the MG2, I have done a review on that. Even roll, I've got a review on that, and the Ping as well, I've done a review on that. So do check the channel out for them. But the rest will be coming, well, as soon as possible to you guys. Remember to subscribe to the video for weekly ACS golf reviews, which obviously will be coming out this Sunday at 12 AM UK time. I do realise that's actually a Saturday afternoon for anyone watching it in the US, or, you know, a few hours before the UK, but UK Sunday time, 12 AM, I do release new reviews that I'm doing. So remember to subscribe to the channel for that. You know, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and comment down below, you know, out of this bag, what would you have in yours? You know, would you change anything yourselves, or are you happy with this setup? Because personally for me, hopefully it's going to be a winner this weekend. So there you go. All right, guys, I will catch you this Sunday for the next ACS golf review. See you then. Bye-bye.